Hey! Hello everyone, this is Aegon of Astora, and welcome back to my blind playthrough of Elden Ring. This is episode number 5, being recorded on Thursday the 14th of July, 2022. I hope you're all having a fantastic day whenever it is you find yourself watching this. So, I have plenty of notes here. So first things first, I realized that we had not come back to speak to this friend here. I think their name was Vare. And yeah, so that's the first thing on my list. It's probably not in a logical order, this list, because it's certainly not now that I'm looking at it. So we're going to be jumping around a bit. But yeah, there were things that came up in my notes, some things that we need to do in-game or we should check in-game, and other things that I'm just going to want to talk about. And the first is that, yeah, I wrote in my notes here to come back and speak to Vare, because we have not spoken to them since we left this place. Hi, friend.
Oh, well done. Well done indeed. You made it through that entire mess all the way to Stormhill. And off you trotted to the Roundtable Hold. My sincerest congratulations. But how did you find the Round Table? Oh, you don't have to say it. Before, the Round Table was chock full of venerated warriors. But now, it's home to puff chests and has-beens. I fear you've been terribly disappointed. I don't blame you. But still, the Round Table has its perks. Why not earn a seat? Fly straight and true, so to speak.
I'm sorry, I tried to do a dramatic camera turn to turn and look at regret from over Vare's shoulder, and just it really makes it difficult to take the game seriously. I'm sorry about that. I'll fly straight and true. I don't know what that means. And also with this weird camera or neck turn they do now when talking to NPCs, I'm going to have to reorganize how it is I do my, hey, did you hear that turn with the player characters? So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what he's asking. I'm going to say we're going to fly straight and true, sure.
Ah, then you're interested. A wise choice indeed. To join the Round Table proper, you must acquire a great rune and request audience with the 2 fingers in the inner chamber. They are the purported masters of the grace that guides your kind, the Tarnished. Yes. Pay them a visit, so that you may see for yourself.
We do have a great rune, don't we? Isn't that what these are? No, these are ashes. Never mind. So what are the great runes? Oh my gosh, it's really a frustrating game design decision for me that they don't indicate which of these are new or sort them by the order in which you find them, because we've almost certainly found additional about things here, but we've not been given really any indication of what's new and what isn't, which, yeah. Something I'll touch on repeatedly over the course of this playthrough is how different it is to do a blind playthrough for YouTube to doing one just offline, and when you're by yourself, you're not really accountable to anyone or thinking about how other people are going to interpret what you do and how you go about beating the game. If you're playing the game by yourself, you really, you know, I have no problem making myself vulnerable in many ways, as those of you who have been around my channel for a while are well aware. But yeah, it's a very different kind of experience, and this is one more example of that. I'm already all over the map here. One other thing I wanted to point out was that I may not have noticed this the first time, But White Mask Varay has a fair bit of blood all over them. That's a detail I had not noticed previously.
Challenge Godric the Grafted, Lord of Stormvale, to acquire a great rune. Decrepit he may be, but a demigod he remains. And of course, an inheritor of a great rune. Worse yet, I hear old Godric's acquired a ferocious new toy to graft. So, prepare for the worst.
Okay, so a great rune is a Lord Soul, essentially. I don't know what this is. This like the golden hour, late night, when we get this buff, presumably from. Is this like a little mini shattering that happens? Remnants of the Elden Ring at a certain time of night just sort of blow in the wind. We're going to talk about the weather effects soon as well. That's another item on my list. Okay, so Godric the Grafted is a holder of a great rune. So great runes presumably are Lord Souls. Okay, that makes sense.
What's the matter? Aren't you supposed to be earning your place at the Roundtable Hold? Then you must face Godric the Grafted, Lord of Stormvale. For without a great rune, you will not be granted audience. With the two fingers in the inner chamber.
Right, okay, so the Great Rune is a Lord Soul, and the inner chamber is presumably in the Roundtable Hold, those double doors that we've not been able to open yet. So that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so that's the end of his dialogue, I would presume. The next item on my list, okay, so this is something I've already done. I'm continually going to be adjusting throughout the playthrough the audio and visual as, in an attempt to make this playthrough, the process of editing and doing post-production on the episodes of this playthrough, as simple and automated as is possible, because the more straightforward that process is, I forgot to send this elevator back down. The more straightforward that process is, the more time I can spend playing the game, the less time I can spend editing the footage and the audio and whatnot. Part of my attempt to do so is the fact that I'm recording this in OBS, that's Open Broadcaster Software, and using the duck feature, I guess, the audio duck sidechain. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Essentially, a means of automatically lowering the audio track from the game when I'm speaking. I also wanted to send this elevator back up to see if there was anything underneath it. It doesn't look like there is. But Dark Souls 3 has taught me that I should be looking for that constantly. And so I have adjusted the audio because I noted that in previous episodes that the NPC voices have been very faint, while the sound effects and the sound effects have been at a good level. However, I think the voice needs to be offset by the sound effects, and the music, I'm okay with the music being a little bit more in the background. Because as it stands, I feel like the voices are way too quiet. And what I did for my Dark Souls 3 blind playthrough, for instance, was essentially I edited and for more or less anything that I recorded outside of OBS, which is most of the content on my channel, I did all the audio editing manually, in effect, by lowering the gameplay audio when I was speaking and vice versa. And yeah, that is quite time consuming, and it results in a much better product in the end, much better, more polished product in the end. However, if you sacrifice a little bit, a tiny shred of that quality, in exchange for, some automated features in a program like OBS, then you can sort of reduce the amount of time you have to spend doing that kind of stuff manually. And so that's what I've been doing. However, the NPC voices are still too quiet. So I've tried increasing the master volume and rebalancing the voice, the sound effects, and the music in-game in an attempt to bring the NPC voices up, to keep everything else at sort of more or less the same volume. And my commentary track, of course, I'm still editing manually using Audacity, just because I don't have a great mic. So it's not a bad mic, CAD U37. It's the same mic I've been using since 2015, and it's done me quite well. But yeah. In other words, I'm still adjusting things. The last thing on that note, the audio-video aspect of my notes here, is that I did notice that when things were moving really quickly in the previous episode, jerky camera movements and whatnot, that it was a little bit blurry, which is indicative of a bitrate that's a bit lower than it ought to be. And once again, I'm still trying to balance bitrate and recording quality with my PC, which is not exactly up to snuff for recording 1080-60. So I've had to lower the resolution a bit and lower the bitrate a bit. But now I'm trying to bring the bitrate a little bit back up in an attempt to ensure that when there's a lot of motion, I'm trying to simulate that now. I don't know how well that's actually going to come across, but I've increased the bitrate in an attempt to increase the quality. So the next thing on my list was about these fog walls. So this is another area that presumably we're going to have to come back to at a later date. And interestingly, I noted that the boss room fog walls, I say interestingly, I don't know if any of you will actually find this interesting, but I noted that the fog walls for the boss rooms are yellow or gold, and this one, which seems to be sort of a world progress thing, these fog walls are gray or white. In Dark Souls 1, it was the complete opposite, which is to say this would have looked just like a fog wall for a boss, maybe a little bit more white than this. This looks a bit gray and darker. There were a number of walls that were blocked off, keeping you from going there until you've progressed to a certain point in the game, and those were gold or yellow. So in this game, for one reason or another, I don't know if there's any actual intention behind it, these are inverted. So in this game, presumably at some point we'll be able to return back here because I can see a ladder and there's a player message there. So there's something behind there we don't have access to yet. And so at some point, something will presumably open that up in the same way that in Dark Souls 1, the gold gates were opened up by virtue of us placing the Lord Vessel. So yeah, that was the next thing on my list. And so I could warp, or I could just keep going down my list and walk, and then we'll talk as I go. So let's do that. The next thing on my list is returning to roots, aka tree roots. Something that I pointed out in the other episodes, but I'm noticing more and more now, just going through the editing process for these various episodes, is just the continual reference, all these references to roots. And in particular, the root resin item description reads, let me just get on the elevator here. Resin secreted from the roots of the great tree can also be found near trees on the surface, material used in crafting items. The roots of the great tree were once linked to those of the Erd tree, or so they say, and it is for this reason catacombs are built around great tree roots. I don't quite get what that's saying. The roots of the great tree. So the great tree and the Erd tree are two different trees, I guess. I want to say I've been conflating them up until this point. Great tree and the Erd tree. So the massive tree we see in, what's the area called? The area we've spent most of our time. Again, I'm out of it, so I apologize. But the great tree we've been seeing in the distance, I've been referring to that as the Erd tree. Roots of the great tree. Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused by that. It might seem obvious to many of you. To me, I'm a little bit lost. It might just be right now because, yeah, it's hot in here again. As it turns out, our air conditioning is broken. So that's why it's brutally hot in here. 28 degrees right now, and it's been a long week, and I'm pooped, and I'm already complaining, and we're only... Okay, I guess we're 20 minutes into this recording, and I'm still just, at the top of my list of notes here. What is the name of this area? This is going to drive me nuts now. Limgrave. Yeah, so this tree here, is this the great tree or the Erd tree? A golden seed found at the base of an illusory tree. When the Elden Ring was shattered, these seeds flew from the Erd tree, shattering across the various lands as if life itself knew that its end had come. So I guess it could be either. So the Erd tree is where those items come from. This could just be the Great Tree. Although I assume that the Great Tree is sort of a mythological tree or a tree that is off in the distance. Maybe that's the distinction we'll draw between the two for now. But in any case, obviously a whole lot of the story of this game revolves around trees, the Erd tree, the Great Tree, the minor Erd trees. And, you know, the whole idea of the Elden Ring presumably is at least in part a reference to tree rings, which are used to date a tree, to measure how old the tree is, that each ring corresponds to a certain number of years. And in line with that, as we might expect, roots keep coming up over and over and over again. So as I was pointing out with respect to the root resin, but sort of lost my train of thought, if you look at the item illustration here, it looks like the roots of the Great Tree are not in good shape. That, you know, on the From Software whiteboard for figuring out the lore of a new game, a new Souls game, you know, you have the Dark Souls equivalent on one side, the Bloodborne equivalent, Demon Souls, and then under the Elden Ring column, it would seem anyway that the roots of the Great Tree are rotting, or that they are impure, or they're being eaten away at by some malevolent force. So that's my initial speculation about what's happening in the world, and there are a couple of reasons for that. So the Horse Sentinel had a shield with roots on, or not the Horse Sentinel, I guess it was a Horse Sentinel, but the Tree Sentinel had a shield with roots in it, which, yeah, in and of itself doesn't really mean anything, but it makes sense given that it's a tree sentinel. Trees are associated with roots, that they're rooted in the ground via roots, so they're essential. If the roots of something are rotting, then that is a major problem as well. And so the tree sentinel, for one reason or another, they didn't appear to be really sentient. And yeah, I don't know if that has anything to do with the whole roots thing or whatever, but in any case, the Tree Sentinel has a shield, had roots growing out of it. You look at the item description, or the item illustration rather, for this item, the root resin, it looks like there's something nasty going on here. Or at least that the roots are in rough shape. If there's a resin being secreted from the roots, you know, that's not always a bad thing, of course. In Canada, for instance, more specifically, I believe this is a Quebec thing, Eastern Canada thing, which is to say that maple syrup is secreted from maple trees. And that's not really regarded as a bad thing. It's a sweet thing that you can, you know, use to make all sorts of delicious treats. In the previous episode, we fought Margit the Fell Omen, who, you know, it's a very interesting name, and we'll get to the name in a second, but Margit the Fell Omen, you see Margit, and it looks like half of Margit's face is normal, half of his face is roots. There's a lot going on there, and it's very sort of difficult to get a clear look at Margit. At least that I struggled to get a clear look at the boss. Mostly because they were kicking my rear end. But yeah, the boss it's very reminiscent, Margit's look of the grooves from Dark Souls 3, that they have these weird sort of horns that are growing out of them. It's almost like the effect of chaos in Dark Souls. It looks like that's what's going on with Margit. I'm not saying that there's a chaos equivalent in this game, but although there almost certainly is. But yeah, Margit's look reminds me a lot of the grooves, and the grooves themselves, those sort of weird protrusions that they had, those looked a lot like roots. The Elder Grooves in particular, they had these weapons that were essentially trees, and that they had this attack where they would put it in the ground and then pull it out, and sort of, putting the roots into the ground and then drawing on the earth and pulling it out and creating this massive splash damage, AoE effect with their weapons. And I don't know, like, those parallels seem too strong to be accidental, or if not, I guess they could still be accidental, because FromSoft works on these games in parallel often. I've no doubt that when they were finishing working Dark Souls 3, there was probably a team starting work on Elden Ring, and so one or two or three or four or five people from that team could have went straight from working on Dark Souls 3, thinking about things like the Elder Grooves, and going to work on this game, and then some of those ideas transfer sort of organically. Anyways, that's just a few thoughts. The Fell Omen, Margit the Fell Omen. So on that note as well, about the roots, that maybe Margit is the Fell Omen. So an omen is a sign of something to come, and typically I think something that's bad. An omen is a sign that something bad is going to happen, or perhaps that something bad has happened or is happening. And Margit, if you look at his appearance, and you look at the tree roots and everything, perhaps the name Margit the Fell Omen is an indication that he started growing these rotten roots out of them, or became sort of half rotten tree roots and half human, or whatever species he's supposed to be. And then that was an omen, is the Fell Omen. So a sign that the world was about to fall. As the Golden Seed says, when the Elden Ring was shattered, these seeds flew from the Erd Tree, scattering across the various lands as if life itself knew that its end had come. So that last line of that item description, I think you can apply that directly to Margit the Fell Omen. His transformation, whatever happened to him, was likewise an indication that life itself knew that its end had come. And you look at him, and that's all the reason you need. The next item on my list actually requires me to go to the Roundtable. So let's head to the Roundtable. And so this is something that I pointed out in the previous episode. Which is that this soundscape in here is quite eerie. You know what? In fact, I'm going to turn off the music temporarily so that we can listen to the soundscape. So yeah, very, very eerie. And I'm not fully sure what to make of it. But I did have an idea. It's just a silly idea, again, complete speculation, really apropos of nothing. Other than, I think this would be a cool idea. Because it sounds like either crowd noise or the noise of many different places being overlapped on top of one another. In other words, could that be this thing here? Could it be a sort of CCTV system? And I don't mean visually, but aurally, and that is Aurally, not Orally, aurally. In other words, is that the sound of all the sites of grace in the world overlapping on top of one another? Is this a site from which you can surveil, you can conduct surveillance over the various sites of grace that are out there in the world? Wow. Well done, friend, leaving a message on top of this tree here. Or tree. Sword. Although even the swords have roots growing out of them. Okay, now I just have to do this. Rump. Okay. Rumple rump indeed. Yeah, so, again, like I said, it's probably nothing. That's a silly idea I had that I thought was really interesting because, yeah, it's such a striking soundscape, but it's so hard to know what to make of it. And maybe it'll be very obvious later on, or maybe someone else has already figured all this out and I'm just doing all this for nothing. But yeah, in any case. So for the last thing, let's head... Where do we want to go? We want to go... I realized that we hadn't explored back here yet, but I want to say this suggests that this part is impassable. So... Oh... I also just remember, we missed a friend here. The finger reader Crone. So maybe we'll start here, and we'll also finally ride our spectral steed for the first time. Yeah, I realize that we've not yet even called Torrent, so let's do that. Okay. That's kind of cool. When's my HUD on? Auto. So I guess I can't two-hand my weapon. Oh, that's how you use the... Oh, that's really clever, actually. You hold X to be able to use the quick pouch. What's it called? Yeah, pouch. Okay. Yeah, so we need to go see Bridge Friend, which is in which direction? It's basically north of us. And in the process... Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. In the process, we should talk about the time of day system. Because it's interesting. And more than interesting, it's kind of... Oh, no. Okay. Get out of here, friend. I don't want you to get hurt. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay. I'm all over the place today. I apologize. This episode is going to be dreadful. I've not been sleeping well at all this week. I've been a ball of anxiety for various reasons that I probably won't get into today, but I will at some point during this playthrough, I'm sure. And, I've had this game on my mind in a way that... Gosh darn it, come on. I really enjoyed Sekiro. But, it wasn't... It didn't wow, how should I put this? I really enjoyed Sekiro. I had a great time playing the game. I enjoyed doing the playthrough. It was a very tough game. And, I don't mean to say that, that's not a negative thing. It's just, it is what it is. And the act of recording a playthrough at the particular time in which I was recording that playthrough was tough, for various reasons. many of which I discussed in that playthrough. So, I won't really get into it, recapitulate those things here. However, don't you dare. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but like, I didn't get the same sort of feeling that this game gives me, which is to say that, throughout the day when I'm doing other things, I'm constantly thinking about this game and like the different aspects of it and things I want to try, things I want to do, things I should explore, things I want to talk about in the playthrough. Like, I'm just thinking about it constantly. And, to some degree that was true of Sekiro as well, but not to the same degree. It didn't have that same sort of je ne sais quoi, that like intangible quality that this game has, that Dark Souls 3 had, that Dark Souls 2 had, like all of these games. It's hard for me to go back prior to Bloodborne, because that's the first blind playthrough I did for this channel, which again, it's a very different experience. If you're okay, I think we'll leave the Spectral Steed for now. But yeah, it's a very, very different experience when you're recording a playthrough for YouTube versus just playing the game by yourself. Dark Souls 2, first time I played it by myself. And so it's really hard to compare the experience of playing that game for the first time by myself, because of course, I was thinking about it all the time and the different things I could do, the different, things I wanted to try, but yeah, it's different when you can just jump in at any time. Whereas when you're recording a playthrough and you need to be prepared, you need to have a certain amount of time set aside. You can't just start playing for 20 minutes and then go do whatever. You can't just hop on and quickly try something. You always need to be ready to record for a couple of hours, because you just can't miss things. The probably most egregious error I've ever made in recording a blind playthrough was not getting my blind reaction to the second phase of the Soul of Cinder in Dark Souls 3, because off camera I dropped my summon sign and helped someone else beat the boss, and so a lot of people were upset they didn't get to see my reaction to that or experience my reaction to that, because I had already seen it, and that was stupid. So yeah, it's such a different experience. And again, I'm not complaining. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just, it's a very different experience when you are playing this game on YouTube for and with other people. And when those people are just abstract, like, I can think of many names of the people who comment regularly and who I've interacted with over the years. I can think of many particular comments that have affected me and helped me see the world in a new way, and the various different guest appearances on the channel and everything. But also, like, I'm recording this from the past. You're listening to me ramble on and on and on several months in the future. And I don't know how many of you there are. I don't know how many of you have moved on to other things who I might think I'm talking to. I don't know how many of you have just discovered my channel and you're like, why the pardon my language, how the fuck does this guy have 20,000+ subscribers? And he's 40 minutes into this episode and he's still like done nothing but ramble and walk in circles. How does he have 20,000 subscribers? So yeah, it's a very different experience. Okay, so before we go talk to this friend, I'm gonna get through the last item on my list, only because it requires me to show some footage, and that is this right here. I was intrigued by the time of day system and the cycle, the daily cycle of Limgrave and of Elden Ring in general, and so I assumed that we wouldn't have an area like this in the initial phases of this playthrough, the initial stages of this playthrough, I should say. I'm tripping over my tongue. And I didn't think we'd have an area like this, like Darkroot Garden, where you go there and suddenly it's dark. However, they've done a better job of transitioning you from the area in which it's not raining to the area in which it's raining. Whereas in Dark Souls, you would go through a dark tunnel, come out the other end, and suddenly it's dark. and it doesn't really make sense, but it's just the area is always dark because of the abyss, and you just sort of accept it and move on. However, in this game, there appears, at least in some areas, in Limgrave in particular that we've seen thus far, there's a dynamic time of day system. This is almost an aside, but I'm left wondering about the influence of George R.R. Martin and to what extent he was actually involved in the creation of this game. And I'm not saying he wasn't involved, but George R.R. Martin, in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, there's Storm's End, which is, I think anyway, an area in which it's not perpetually a storm, but it is a place that is known to be stormy. I'm wondering whether this area might be a George R.R. Martin creation or contribution. But beyond all of that, if we ignore the perpetual storm area, in Limgrave there is a pattern. But the pattern is weird. It's not what you would expect in terms of a normal time of day cycle. And I don't really know anything about the cosmology of the world yet, other than, yes, there are some areas in which we have perpetual storms. And an area like Limgrave where it appears as though there is a discernible pattern, but I recorded about 45 minutes of idle footage, and of course I forgot to turn off the compass, which annoyed me after the fact, but I wasn't about to go record for 45 minutes again. So I recorded for 45 minutes and then sped it up. I think this is sped up 64 times speed. So I had to do 3 renders because my video editing software only allows me to speed it up by 4. So the first render was to go from 1 times speed to 4 times speed, and then multiply that by 4 is 16, multiply that by 4 is 64. So this is 64 times speed. So you're seeing about 45 minutes of in-game time in a minute and change. And it's weird because there are these hard transitions between weather states. The moon just sort of appears and disappears. At one point you can see what looks like a sun or a star, because the sun is a star but very close up. It's the star of our solar system, whereas the stars are in most cases suns but very far away. So the sun is the name of a specific star, just in case any of you were not aware of that. We see what looks like a sun or a star rising through the mist and the fog, and then the fog goes away and you see it in the distance just sort of going up, which is to say maybe we're at the equator. I don't know. I'm not an astronomer, despite having an amateur interest in astronomy. But yeah, it's weird. The moon seems to always be in the same place. Again, appears and disappears. There are these weird sort of hard transitions. That, granted, this is 64 times speed, so you're seeing it a lot more quickly than they happen in-game. And so in-game, you're busy fighting things. Maybe you're not meant to be looking at it the same way and analyzing it in the same way that I'm doing right now. But yeah, it's strange. And so I wonder whether there is a cosmological explanation for this. Because I was thinking about, it's certainly not a technical limitation, because I was thinking about different games that have day-night cycles where you could do a time-lapse video and it would look pretty good and pretty clean and gradual in a way that sort of conforms to what we would expect being on Earth. And I thought of a couple games, but one game that I thought would be interesting by way of a comparison is Fallout 4, because that came out, I think, in 2014, 2015, something like that. I played it rather late. I played it on the PS4, but now that I'm on the PS5, I remember that being a game that was particularly laggy in terms of the frame rate. And I decided, it would be an interesting idea to see whether it was very choppy on the PS5. And of course it's not. I don't think it runs at 60 frames per second. I think it's 30 frames per second. But my biggest settlement, Sanctuary, was mega laggy because I had so much stuff built there. I had all these robots that were delivering supplies all over the Commonwealth and all of these different things. So it ground to a halt. So I downloaded Fallout 4 and I thought, it'd be interesting to just see what the time of day progression looks like in that game. And here's what it looks like. Again, it looks a lot more like what you would expect, you know, given our experiences here on Earth. And of course, we don't know where the heck we are in Elden Ring, not yet anyway. But you know, it's apparent that this world is not in a normal state, and that's apparent in all FromSoft games, of course. But yeah, there's something going on. But still, I thought it was interesting because this is a game from 2014, so it's not a technical limitation. This looks really good. Granted, there are some clouds there that just don't move in the middle of the screen. They're just there constantly. It's just whether or not you see them. They're on one of the backmost layers, I suppose, of the skybox. But yeah, I don't know. Don't really have a conclusion to this segment other than to say, yeah, that's the Fallout 4 day-night progression, and it's much smoother than we see here in Elden Ring. But perhaps that's a reflection of the state of each game world, whereas Fallout 4 is a game that takes place in the aftermath of a nuclear war, and Elden Ring takes place in the aftermath of the Shattering. So suggesting perhaps that the Shattering is, by some measures, far more drastic and significant and substantial a wound to this planet than nuclear fallout was to Fallout 4. Whoa, that scared me for a second. Thought that was a horse sentinel, friend. Tree sentinel. Anyways, yeah, we are almost an hour into the episode. We've not done anything yet. This friend looks interesting. So we're going to get started. I decided that what we would do before we proceed with the names of the areas, before we proceed, either we have a few places we can go. I also have this in my notes. I forgot that I actually have a second page here. Sorry, everyone. I'm very sorry. So Stranded Graveyard is the first place. There's a fog wall, so we can't go back there. But I have a list of areas where we might want to return at some point. Stormfront Catacombs is another one that we went there and then we ran away. Same with the Groveside Cave. So we are going to want to explore those soon. Cave of Knowledge, that was the tutorial area. Stranded Graveyard, also tutorial area. Stormhill Shack. So the Castleward Tunnel, that's where we defeated the Fell Omen. And so we're going to want to continue there to progress wherever the heck that leads. But then likewise, Agheel Lake North, we have this whole area that we've not yet explored. And so I think it would be smart to explore as much of Limgrave as we possibly can before moving on to the next area. Or at minimum, that would give us a better sense of what our options are going forward, where we want to go. Because at minimum, I think Groveside Cave has a boss, because it had one of those summoning things there. I can't remember if the Catacombs did or not. By the way, the name Stormfront Catacombs makes sense, because this is we're on, what, Stormhill now? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Stormhill, and so this is at the foot of the hill, so aka Stormfoot. Clever. And the Groveside Cave, because it's a cave right next to a grove. So very literal names in this, which I appreciate, given fun with definitions and all that. So yeah, after we go speak with this friend, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go in this direction. See if we can get a sense, continue surveying the area. That's the word I was looking for. Continue surveying Limgrave, see where we have the option to go, and then decide where to go from there. So I think this episode will largely just be us surveying Limgrave. Okay, so it's another husk friend. Although I'm very sad. Oh, she does look sad. I'm sorry, friend. I don't mean to laugh. That was rude of me. I apologize. That was unbecoming of me.
You, please, I can read them. Your fingers, please, your fingers.
So instead of palm reading, gosh darn it, instead of palm reading, so I have to turn our friend and then crane the camera in order to look directly at each of you. Yeah, instead of palm reading, we have finger reading, which, yeah, interesting.
Oh, bless you. Head to the fountain of gold tarnished. Traverse Rhea Lucaria, glintstone eventide, and reunite the half-crescents at the grand lift. Oh, but the bridge is collapsed and cannot be crossed. Only, why should that matter? Stormvale Castle still stands tall.
So in other words, in order to pass the bridge, we need to go through Stormvale Castle. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Thank you for the hint, friend. So this is Stormvale Castle, presumably. So we can't go over the bridge, but by going through here? Or here? Maybe I'm misunderstanding the directions. But wherever she was referring to, we need to go through Stormvale Castle to get there. Thank you, friend, for your very helpful advice.
You, please, I can read them. Your fingers, please, your fingers.
Is this just repeat dialogue?
Oh, bless you. Head.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, thank you. Stormvale Castle stands tall indeed, friend. So I guess in order to go past this bridge, behold, good fortune. Wait. Have I already been here? This is west. I'm trying to figure out how to read the map. I've already been here, haven't I? Wait, so does that mean I walked right past the finger reader Crone last time? I don't believe it. That's ridiculous even for me. Whoops. You hear wind chimes, which to me indicates that a site of grace is nearby. Oh no, it's one of these friends. Okay, wait. This all seems very familiar to me. Ooh, Ash of War Stormwall. Okay, so maybe I should be killing these friends even if I don't need a refill of my flasks, because they can drop other things, apparently. The Ash of War grants no affinity to an armament, but imparts the following skill. Stormwall. Swing the shield to create a wall of storm winds in front of you, deflecting arrows and other such physical projectiles. Can also be used in the same way as a regular parry, usable on small and medium shields. Now, we're obviously not using a shield, so that's of very little use to us, at least at the moment. It might come in use situationally later on. Gosh, I feel very silly if I have indeed been over this way. So yeah, so those wind chime noises, I gotta remember, that's not actually likely decoy. God, okay. Those noises are not actually, I keep conflating them with the Site of Grace noises, but Yeah, it's not the noise of the Sight of Grace. I'm going to be very annoyed at myself if this is the place we've already been. Which it may very well be. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we've definitely been here. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Okay, let's go to Agheel Lake North. Ah, I'm so silly. Oh, there's another horseback friend. Okay, that's interesting. Is this a boss? I want to say we've not seen this person, or have we?
Oi! You there. Could you help us out, Cully?
Cully? What does that mean? Of course, friend. On my way. Where are you?
Yeah, you there.
Is this Patches?
Stop pretending you can't see me.
Luckily for you, friend, I'm wearing headphones so I can sort of hear the direction.
Why won't anyone look me in the eye? I'm not that ugly, am I?
Unless... hello? Arteria leaf. Is the
Oi! You there. Could you help us out, Cully?
Is it you? I'm so confused.
Yeah, you there. Stop pretending you can't see me.
Okay, is it this tree?
Why won't anyone look me in the eye? I'm not that ugly, am I? Why'd you go and do that for?
Okay, that message is worthy of 1,000 upvotes, because I would not have figured that one out, I don't think. Hello.
Oh, yes. I remember. Some clod turned me into a tree. You were just breaking the spell, weren't you? Thank you. The name's Bok. I was pushed out of the cave. Told not to come back. Not ever. Then I ended up as a tree. Lucky you came along, really.
Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, what a shame. When they threw me out of the cave, they took everything I owned. And so this is all I have to express my thanks. I hope you can forgive me.
Thank you.
Or, well, if you can afford to wait for a while, I could sneak back into the cave and bring back something of actual value. Well, then I'd be of some real use to you, I reckon.
Well, your worth as a person is not determined by whether you're useful to me or not, but I appreciate your offer of assistance nevertheless.
Right, but I'll need a moment. I'm frightened of them, so I have to gather myself. My knees start knocking, just thinking about that god-awful cave on the shore.
Wonder where. Somewhere on the shoreline, then. Interesting. Okay. He may be fooling us in some way. Or trying to, anyway. I don't know. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, though, and assume that he's all good.
Right,
Okay, you gather yourself all you need, friend. I'll go check out this cave on the shore in just a minute. I'm going to go say hi to this horseback friend here. Is this another boss? No. Ooh. Nice one. Looks like he's got like a Murakumo. Oh! Rolled way too early there. Oh no, that's a bad combo. That's a really bad combo. Oh, thank you, panic dodges. Oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? I regret this. Okay, that's good. Now it's just us, friend. Okay, that was really dicey situation for a moment there. Caden trousers. We have a couple items to read now. Arteria leaf. Dark red leaves with thick, swollen veins. Material used for crafting items. Exceedingly rare to find. A faint pulse can be felt in the veins. Stirs the blood, providing an enlivening effect. Yeah, I really have to start getting into the item crafting aspect of this game. I'm so sorry, horse friend. Not something I think we, and maybe we do think about this more than I'm giving us as a species credit for, but the amount that has been placed on, I talked in earlier episodes about animals in general, but horses in particular, especially since like the Middle Ages, just carrying all of humanity's burdens and, you know, being used in warfare, and, you know, they don't really know what's going on. They're just, yeah, doing their thing, and, yeah, you feel bad in a game when like, this horse doesn't have anything against you. It's the person riding it, using it as a tool, effectively. Yeah, you kind of feel bad for poor horsey. Regret has definitely got blood. I was going to say blood on his hands, but essentially blood everywhere. Okay, so we have some bloodborne townspeople here. They look like zombies. And what looks like another horseback friend in the distance there. Was he running to go tell the horse guy? Sorry, friend. They really... Oh. Well done, friend. I enjoy your role tremendously. One thing that would be nice about this map, like, you know, I know it's not Skyrim. I know it's not any of these other games, but to be able to... And there's a summoning pool thing, so it's got to be a site of grace nearby. It would be the ability to have some sense of where you've been. Whoa. Oh, that's just a tree root? I don't know what that is. Yeah, to have some sense of where you've been and where you still need to go. You know, something like, yeah, the areas on the map become, or lightened up. They're shown as being slightly gray, and then suddenly they're brighter once you've actually been there. Okay, so this is totally the fair and keep of this game. Just all the vibes that it's giving me. Except that, of course, it's got blue hues instead of red. Mindful of that mosquito over there. No dragon ahead. Skill required ahead, okay. Why is there one of those things and no? Again, it's going to take me a while to get adjusted to this game and the mechanics of it and whatnot. I always assumed, I assumed in the last 9+ hours of gameplay in this game that... I'm hearing wind chimes again. Unless the Site of Grace is up there. Although, once again, it could be that... Vagrant, that's the name of the friend from Dark Souls 1, which spawns in other players' worlds when you drop a large amount of humanity and you don't pick it up. I think it's something like 10 humanity. Oh yeah, it is one of those friends. Okay, so it's not a Site of Grace. I don't know why I'm conflating those two things. Gosh, it's 29 degrees Celsius in here. Ay, as I mentioned in the previous episode, the farther along in life you get, or the further along in life you get, I should say, the closer you are essentially to where you started. Hello. Should have tried to do a plunging attack there or something. Okay. Whoa! Unintentional boss fights are unintentional. No, that was dumb of me. Oh, that... Okay. How am I not dead? Oh, right. Okay, so there's no Site of... Gosh darn it. No Site of Grace, but we have this statue thing here, which I don't think I touched. Oh, the Stake of Marika. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we might as well respawn there. That was awful silly of me. Okay, we should leave that friend alive there. Because... in theory, we could hit him during the boss fight. And if it's the one that refills the HP flask, then... yeah, we might be in luck. So yeah, again, my mind is not working at capacity today. Because it's been a long week and I've not slept tremendously well. But now, especially because it's almost 30 degrees Celsius in here. My wife is working in the other room though, so I can't really open the door. And our air conditioning appears to be broken because, yeah, it just doesn't cool down the place like it should, I don't think. We had someone come in today to look at it, and they sent the wrong person or something because it was an apprentice and not an actual experienced HVAC person, and he didn't know how to work on our particular system. So now we have to wait until Saturday, which is fine, but yeah, recording in here is quite uncomfortable. If you're cold in your house, and you don't have a space heater, one alternative I might recommend is my whatever desktop I have, CyberPower PC. Oh, because it heats up my room, and by my room I mean my office, quite well. Oh, I should have followed that one up. Staggered him. Again, I got scared. I panicked. Oh, gosh darn it. There we go. Whoa, how are you? Yeah, that friend has to have been influenced by Shiva of the East. The helmet looks very similar as well. Okay, that's not a good start. How many flasks? Okay, we have 6, so might as well use one. Oh my gosh, we got some giants over here as well. I was thinking, oh yeah, we'll explore the rest of... what the heck is this place called? Gosh darn it. We'll explore the rest of Limgrave. And that should take one episode. Yeah, not happening. This place is massive. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Friends. Oh, that's... Gosh darn it. The giants are enslaved in this game as well. Of course they are. Well, someone very important is coming through here. And, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I almost just want to watch them go by and see where they go. Yeah, this game is... yeah, I'm quite enjoying this thus far. I believe that's where we started. That's the stranded grave. Can I lock onto these friends? Doesn't look like it. This person, yes. Trying to switch to my bare fist there to get a kick in. But of course, because I have the bow equipped, that doesn't work. Oh, so what are these friends going to do? Whatever is back there must be very heavy, which suggests that it might not actually be a person. It might be an item. So, Where's the boss, though? I don't want to accidentally get into a boss fight again. I think the boss isn't down there, are they? It's a good thing they move so slowly, because I've had all this time to make up my mind, although I think that's just contributing to my paralysis of analysis here. Hello. Okay. That works for me. Oh, wait, do we have to... Oh, man. I thought we could just take it without engaging with these friends. I'm sorry. I didn't want to fight you. Oh, that was dumb. That was supposed to be a charge attack. No. What is this itch on my leg? Darn mosquitoes. FromSoft really does specialize in making you feel like, look at this face. Oh my. Okay, oh, they stopped. Okay. Let's hurry. Yes! Yes! We did it without killing them. Oh, that's great. Okay. No wonder they they give it that really sad looking face. Great axe. Great axe akin to a huge lump of iron. Recognized. Bye, friends! Have a great day! You're doing great work. When you get there, you might be missing your cargo, but just let them know that you saw a nice bandit on the road and he may or may not have lifted it from the cart. Anyways, take care. Too heavy to be wielded by those of merely ordinary strength, blows from this axe will flatten enemies, and the force of its charged attack is a sight to behold. Skill, Barbaric Roar, let loose a bestial roar to rally the spirit and increase attack power, while active strong attacks change to savage combo attacks. I really don't like that word. Yeah, in the context of Canada, at least, the word savage is, and I think indigenous peoples in North America more generally, that's a problematic term, which I don't like using. I don't like that it's in popular discourse, but anyways. Great axe akin to a huge lump of iron, recognized as the weapon of choice of Badland chieftains. So one of the friends that was named in the intro cinematic was of course is of course a Badlands chieftain. So they're people of immense strength, seemingly. So there's a party of friends coming from the north, or no? Heading north. Oh, that was bad. To get the crossbow friend first. Whoa! Nice little dodge you got there, friend. Oh my gosh. I should stop patronizing you. I'm dreadful at this game. Where the heck am I now? Okay, I'm still in more or less uncharted territory. Now I just need to remember where the heck we were. So one thing that you could argue is a downside to this game is that some of the areas do look a bit samey, just because everything is just a large open field, such that it can be a bit difficult to know where you are and where you've been. Oh. I'm sorry, friend. I think I murdered one of the other ones as well, who was not especially keen on fighting, so I apologize. You can just do your thing. Gonna be rolling very loud car outside. My apologies if you can hear that. I'm gonna be rolling into bushes all over the place now, just looking for someone else like our monkey friend. Who is this? Is this monkey friend? No. Looks like he's wearing a similar outfit, though. So a sapling is what, like a baby plant, kind of? He's looking at this tree here. Okay, crystal teardrop. So, like a seed of a tree of giants type situation. I'm not saying it necessarily has the same function, but gosh, where did that boss even go? That's an interesting looking thing. It's a giant poison bloom? Maybe? Looks that way. I'm so totally lost. I don't know where we are. Yeah, that's definitely a poison bloom. Oh. Okay. Maybe a bit more than that. It's like, hey, well, you gotta give me some more credit, friend. Okay, poison bloom friend. You got some fancy divine moves there as well. So if the roots of the world are somehow rotten or problematic in this game, then that would affect all kinds of plant life as well. Oh no. Wow, you really can't sneak around them, can you? They know you're coming before you even know that you're headed there. Oh, there's the poison. Okay. Wow, that's really interesting. Oh, okay. This is another area in which we can summon, I think. I think that's what that means. So, boss area. Is this where Horse Friend is? Waypoint Ruins. Oh, who mentioned that? The finger reader, I think, or was it? I think it was. It might have been Masked Fairy. Gosh, yeah, I can't remember. Someone mentioned the Waypoint Ruins. More doggos. Is this a friendly doggo? No, of course not. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of stuff. Hello. Oh. Ouch. Okay, I thought you were going to be friendly. I'm sorry. Hope that wasn't your owner. Glintstone Staff. Or the other way around. Or is that cats? Cats are the ones who own their humans. Staff with a glintstone embedded at the tip, a catalyst for casting sorceries. Sorceries must be memorized first at a site of lost grace, and a staff must be equipped to cast them. No skill. Okie dokie. There's a giant crab. Looks quite angry. Another sort of Fair and Keep-esque area, unless that's the same area, which it may very well be. Okay, where is this boss? I think we're in a completely different area now. I think we were over here or something. I really messed that one up. Oh, there's more wolves. Of course there's more wolves. Oh, where are you going? Oh, this is a big one. Wolf or something. Again, I'm just everything in the game I'm just relating to Song of Ice and Fire because of George R. R. Martin's attachment to this project. Thin beast bones. Even though, yeah, it's I still don't really have any sense of the extent of his involvement. Or if that was an aspect of the early game that they didn't quite follow through with. What was that? Thought I heard an interesting noise there. Almost forgot that I had a bow. I thought hitting him with the bow would make him run up here, but apparently not. I feel like there's an entrance down there, because otherwise why would they all be guarding that? You know what I really need for this game? I really need some sort of system Waypoint Ruins. Those of you who watched Bloodborne Let's Talk Lore, and in particular the episodes in which we explored extensively the Chalice dungeons, Oh no! Gosh darn it. Oh no! I was like, oh, I've not been to this place, but clearly I have, because... Oh, are they guarding the site of grace or something? Do I just need to not be a coward and just deal with them? Yeah, in Bloodborne Let's Talk Lore, I outlined my system for exploring the Chalice dungeons, which you would have seen to some degree in the previous episode, because... Oh my gosh. It's more or less the approach I took when exploring the Roundtable Hold. Oh crud, I'm dead. Wow, okay. Yeah, because I don't believe I have any of the poison buildup cure. Oh, I have a bow. What am I doing? When I was exploring the Roundtable Hold, you saw one sort of dimension of that system. Oh my gosh, this guy is jumping up there with a horse. That's interesting. In that one aspect of the system was that I explore open doorways before closed ones. So if I have a choice between two pathways, one contains a closed door, the other one an open one, I'll always explore the open door first, because that, just makes it less likely that you'll get turned around and lost and confused, more likely that you won't be exploring things twice. I'm assuming this is a hive mind of sorts or something, so if we destroy this large part, then the rest will sort of take care of itself. Shouldn't be letting my stamina run out, but... And yeah, I need something similar. So another aspect of it was high and low. I explore high areas before low areas, because often a high area will drop you into a low area. Not always, but often in Souls games. And so these are a lot like... I know I'm all over the map here, but these are a lot like those enemies in Lost Izalith in Dark Souls 1. In that area where Siegmeyer is... his quest line ends. The ones that chew you up and spit you out, destroy your equipment. They move very similarly to those friends. What was I just saying? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought again. Yeah, I need a system. And it's easy to come up with one, quote-unquote easy, for a dungeon, like the Chalice dungeon. Not so much for a large open field. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Cured strip of meat, dried out after pickling in a green medicinal solution. Craftable item. Temporarily boosts immunity. Higher immunity helps to mitigate the buildup of various poisons and scarlet rot. Scarlet rot. Miranda powder. Pollen from man-eating Miranda flower, material used for crafting items. Throughout history, perfumers have prized this extremely fragrant form of Miranda pollen, not yet scattered into the air. Golden rune. More Miranda powder. Okay, I was hoping that we were going to find a site of grace here, but it doesn't look that way, which is unfortunate. Oh, there was that item up top, wasn't there? No precious item ahead. Okay, well, thank you. However, I'd still like to try and get it. Can you jump higher with your horse? That would be quite something. No, that's not what I wanted. Gosh darn it. Oh. Okay, that took me off guard. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay. I think speedruns in this game must be bonkers to watch. I cannot wait until I'm finished. Oh my gosh, you can't jump higher. Cannot wait till I'm finished this game so I can see, whoa, gosh darn it, what the speedruns look like. Because this is easily the most open of the Souls games, I think, anyway. It could just be an illusion. Gosh, it's very slippery, the controls with the horse. I don't think you're meant to be doing platforming with it, but still. Okay, I'm going to dismount now. Trina's Lily. A light purple water lily that is on the verge of wilting, material used for crafting items, exceedingly rare to find. A symbol of faith in Saint Trina, dulls the senses, preventing agitation. Very interesting. Okay, we need some sort of resolution for this episode. Because I've literally just been wandering around and, like, not even going in a consistent direction. That tree looks different than the others for some reason. Maybe I'm imagining that, but... yeah, we still need to find the cave that Monkey Friend told us about. Patches guy. Patches guy. The guy who was chameleoned as a bush. Okay, so that boss has got to be around here somewhere. Although I just... sign just went away. Starts here. Now it's gone. Okay, that's confusing to me. Okay, I thought we'd explored all this, but apparently not. See, I don't know how I'm even going to edit this episode, because so much of it is me just wandering around and rambling. And not playing the game particularly well. Oh my gosh. Friend, hold still for 1 second, please. There we go. As usual. I like cheese, and I apologize to any of those among you who may be lactose intolerant, because cheese is the order of the day when I play Souls games, for better and worse. Glowstone. Polished rune fragment that shines brighter than rainbow stone. Craftable item. Emits light from the location it is placed, illuminating surroundings. However, the effect is short-lived and it lacks the diverse colors of rainbow stones. May serve some benefit in dark places or at night. Okie dokie. Ah, okay. Be wary of boss. Yeah, I can see the yellow fog gate there. So there's really no sight of grace here. Am I just totally blind? Or is it just down here? Weak foe ahead. Try, okay. I have a feeling that can't be accurate. How far are we? I must be missing a sight of grace. Okay, maybe not a sight of grace, but that thing. Stake of Tharika? I can't remember what it's called. Okie dokie. Let's... might as well go see what this boss is all about. Provided I can find it. There it is. Doesn't sound good. Ooh, okay, Mad Pumpkinhead. Oh my god. Yeah, that's bleeding attack. Oh. Greedy there. Oh, once again got greedy. Oh no. If I die, I deserved it. I wanted Jellyfish Friend to finish him off. Come on, Jellyfish Friend, you can do it. Yes! Oh no, don't you dare! I had to protect Jellyfish Friend. Whew. There's our site of grace. Okay, should we level up? I guess we don't really have much to spend our runes on. Yeah, I guess I could add some more just vigor and endurance, or endurance at minimum. I don't think we have enough upgrade materials to upgrade our halberd any further. Gosh, I don't know where anything is. My sincerest apologies, everyone. Oh, we might actually. 4. Okay, let's, before we go any further... Waypoint Ruins Cellar. Okay, so these are all under Limgrave. These are under the Stranded Graveyard, and Stormhill has its own area, but the entire area is considered Limgrave. So I wonder if when we go past this point, will another map be stitched onto the end of this one? If so, then this world is massive. I imagine it will be, because there's a lot of places in the distance that we've obviously not yet seen. And I'm thinking that this game might be the realization of something that Miyazaki said in Dark Souls 3, and while Dark Souls 3 was in development, which was... You see a place off in the horizon, you can go there. Obviously, that didn't end up being true when the game actually came out, for whatever reason, but I'm wondering if it is something they were able to achieve here. But, yeah, let's go to the Roundtable Hold. Wonder if anyone has anything new to say.
If I do have I suppose I'll ask Master
Okay.
Be sure to tell me if you meet a young
Okay, alright, okay, no one has anything. His Grumpy Friend. We need Grumpy Smith Friend. Okay, so this is the Twin Maiden Husks. I don't know why I was thinking this was the Two Fingers. Not even close. They do have some additional items that could be of interest, but also not. What was this necklace? Yeah, we don't need that. That's interesting. I don't think that's a gesture we have yet. It's the make contact of this game. No, we definitely don't have that yet. So I guess nothing would happen if we were to go down there now. Offer legs. No idea what that means, other than perhaps the person in the painting maybe doesn't have legs. I don't know.
Well, where have you been hiding? I took you for dead. No matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arms, then.
Oh, we need 6. Of course we do. Okay, I guess we can't upgrade anything then.
The girl. What about her? Are you out of your mind? Who'd stay with an ugly brute who only knows how to smith? Absurd. Besides, she'd never agree to it.
Friend, you are not just an ugly brute.
I refuse to believe it. I don't doubt you, but I know when something's too good to be true.
Aww. Aww. Deep down, we all just want validation and love. Oh, Master Hugh. Gosh darn it. Okay, I'm sorry to everyone who was in the previous episode. It's the blacksmith. It's the blacksmith, Aegon. What are you doing? I was like, who's this Master Hugh? We haven't met him yet. You know. My bad. Okay. We need 2 more. Wonder if Santa Claus sells. I don't think any of them sell upgrade materials, but worth checking, perhaps.
Always a...
I really wish the loading screens were just, you could have an option to just make the loading screens blank. Nothing on them. Because I keep seeing things that, you know, when I see them later, I'm going to be like, oh, that would have been a cool surprise, except, you know, I already knew that was coming. Such as the friends with the, oh gosh, what do you call them? The guillotines for arms, which look quite frightening.
Goodbye. Nice to do business.
Okay, I guess we're just leveling up then. Don't really have anything else to spend my echoes on. Echoes. My runes. Okay. I think we're going to use a couple of these. I think this is 300 or 400. 200. I think we can level up one more time. Interesting that we only needed... Oh gosh, what's her name? Marika, I think? We only needed her the once. Or no, Melina. Gosh, too many M names. We only needed Melina the once. And now we're able to level up by ourselves. Another thing I just noticed on the subject of roots. The roots are the sites of grace. Okay, wow, I feel really silly for not noticing that sooner. So, when we warp, we are traveling through the roots, which presumably run all throughout this place. I'm wondering what that one item description meant when it said that catacombs are built around the roots of great trees. Maybe I'm taking that too literally, but it did say something to that effect. Okay, we need to go back here because we need to see Horse Friend. And by Horse Friend, I mean that boss we ended up clashing with, who I believe was this way. Even though last time I went in the wrong direction, or did I? I'm so lost here. It's ridiculous. Oh. Oh. Wow, that's cool. Okay, where are we, though? Are we directly below this? Because what is our vantage point here? Yeah, that's the boss right there. Wow, this is like the ultimate binoculars. Or monocle, or... Oh, the Souls games viewing devices. Okay, so that's... Storm Castle, I guess? There's the bridge that is broken. And so this is the place we're headed, I think, for story reasons. But then in that other area, the Liurna Lake, or whatever it was called, you could see a number of additional places in the distance there. Like, what is the vantage point that we're utilizing here? It's like a giant periscope, but it doesn't... Bird's eye telescope. Like, how does that work? The mechanics of it make no sense to me. And I guess they don't have to, but it's interesting. It's a cool mechanic. I thought when I first saw it, I was like, well, surely this is just like a flourish there for decorative reasons, but apparently not. It's actually quite easy to reach this friend again, and I just needed to follow the path here, and somehow I messed that up. Hello? Ouch, that one hurt. Slightly delayed that one. This friend is slightly more difficult than the tree sentinel, as we would expect, given that it's a fair distance away. I can't tell, is the horse hobbled or not? No. Friend, this is not... Oh, maybe we can use this to our advantage. No. Gosh darn it. Do we need to hit him when he, like... Knight's Cavalry. It's the Cavalry of the Knight. Might need to... Oh, hit Bug Friend now. Hit up Bug Friend for some flasks. I'm being way too passive. Oh no. And now I aggroed all these friends too. That's really bad news. Oh no. And it didn't even recharge my flask. That was dreadful. I apologize. Take out these friends first. We got an item description from that bug friend. I know I've likened them to the Vagrant from Dark Souls. I know it's mechanically it's nothing at all like it, but it is what they remind me of, just in terms of their how curious they are as an enemy. Oh, is it the horse that has the health bar? Oh no, this isn't the boss. What am I doing? I think once again I got confused. I was like, wait a second. I've happened upon a mechanic here that... Gosh darn it. Let's go this way. Oh, these guys are back? Okay, I got turned around again. I think because I'm respawning at Stake of Marika, which is a little bit... It's in a slightly different position than I was previously, and I'm treating it like it's the same position, which must be frustrating to watch, so I apologize to those of you who sort of know, you have the lay of the land, you know where you're going. These are the scared friends, right? Yeah, they are. Oh my gosh, I've been senselessly slaughtering them. That's another Shiva of the East kind of friend. Oh, why am I lost again? It's okay, friends. Do your thing. I'm going this way. I'm more or less out of time at this point. But yeah, it's the... Again, I keep coming back to this point, but... The very non-trivial differences between doing a playthrough on your own and doing a playthrough online for your... Recording your playthrough for YouTube. I think recording your playthrough for YouTube, insofar as you do any amount of editing... Like I do a considerable amount of editing. Less so for this series than I have in Series Pass, as I discussed earlier, but still, do a lot of editing. That's even different still from live streaming a blind playthrough. Because when you're live streaming a blind playthrough, you're just... I don't mean to suggest like it's easy or anything like that, because it's not, because I've done that as well. But if you're just live streaming it and then just posting the highlights to YouTube, or I don't know how big YouTubers do it. I'm sure there are many people who just record the footage and then have other people do the editing for them. I imagine there's a lot of people who do that. Anyone probably over 200,000 subscribers or something like that. I don't know how I would ever let anyone edit my footage, just because like I like to do things in a very particular way, and feel like that would be a nightmare to work with if ever I were to try and teach someone how I would like things to be done. But yeah, anyways, I'm getting off track. Essentially what I'm saying is that when you are very thoroughly editing your footage... Oh, I can't look at my map. That's interesting. Why is that? Yeah, so when you edit footage as much as I do, I also have a debuff of some sort as well. I don't know what's happening. Then you're essentially, yeah, you play the playthrough twice, and like you know, this isn't always, it's not just having to do with the specific process through which you upload the videos and record them, but also, obviously, it has something to do with me being very self-critical and not... We're right back at the Ruins, aren't we? Yes, we are. And being hard on myself and whatnot, but just, it really changes the way you play the game, because you're so conscious of what people are going to be seeing as they watch your playthrough, that it totally changes your approach. Oh, I didn't want him to use his horn. Gold pickled fowl foot. What the heck is that? And I will get back to my thought in 1 second. Four-toed foot of a foul four-toed foot of a fowl pickled in a golden medicinal solution. Craftable item. Boosts the amount of runes obtained from defeating enemies for a certain duration. Since old times, the needy would scrape the meat clean, even from a fowl's claw. Caden trousers. I don't know if we got this just now or earlier. These hulking, fearless mercenaries, the Caden sellswords, are said to hail from the mountaintops of the wintry north, and they're adept at fighting on horseback. Again, wintry north is a George R. R. Martin thing, at least from A Song of Ice and Fire it is. Caden is the name of their home settlement. Foot soldier gauntlets. Metal gauntlets covered in nicks and dents, widely issued to foot soldiers in a lord's army. Chain draped tabard. Tabard. Padded cloth armor with a chainmail shawl draped over the shoulders, widely issued to foot soldiers in a lord's army. So these are all foot soldiers, which is something that, yeah, was pretty obvious. It's like a dream. These guys are well on their way. Do we want to wait and see where they're going? I am very curious. I imagine they're going to the Storm Castle. What's it called? The Storm Gate en route to whatever this area is called. Wait, where did they go? What the heck? Did I just lose them? By going into... Well. Okay, that kind of shatters the illusion of them actually going somewhere. Unless they're just over the crest of the hill and I'm not seeing them for that reason, but they're giants. Oh, well, that sucks. Okay. One of these episodes, I do want to do that. I want to actually see where they go. I'm lost, so let's go back to the Agheel Lake North Site of Grace. I want to find this. Unless the friend is only around at night. What time of day is it? It's early day. That wouldn't make sense. Yeah, because they're not... Okay, that makes sense. Okay, let's go back to the Site of Grace. Which is where? There. And let's advance the time of day to night. Oh, the vampire bats are out too. Unless they're always there and I just missed them last time, which is entirely possible. Okay, if this boss is only available at night, that's awesome and bonkers. And, yep. Wow, that's... I like it, but at the same time, it sort of makes me feel overwhelmed just thinking of all the possibilities that you have to really account for when playing this game. That, you know, you can explore a place, but you haven't truly explored it until you've been there at all times of day. Because different things could be happening based on what the time of day is. So that's really interesting. Oh, come on, friend. Make me chase after you. So yeah, that makes sense. That's why I kept getting turned around thinking like, where the heck am I? Why don't I see him? And it's quite simple because only there at night, seemingly. Yeah, it's night. Okay. Can we just keep him stun locked? Did I stumble upon a speedrun strat there or something? I think that's the horse's HP. Oh, crap. That one is slightly delayed. Ah, oh, once again. Keeps fooling me with that. Got very lucky there. See, I don't know if he's going to be easier or harder when he gets off the horse, though, so we're definitely playing with fire here. Oh, crud. Yeah, he's got a slightly different moveset than the Tree Sentinel, and by slightly I mean very different. Horse still has the shoulder charge though. Almost got the horse. I'm sorry, horsey friend. Oh, serves me right for apologizing. Missed my shot. Ouch. Oh, I didn't mean to hit the R1 button the second time there. Oh, this is bad. Oh, what the heck? Okay, fair enough. Really just need to focus on hitting him. That was extremely close. My goodness. Okay. Ash of War, repeating thrust. This Ash of War grants an armament the keen affinity and the following skill. Repeating thrust, twist to build power, then unleash a flurry of thrusts, usable on armaments capable of thrusting, colossal weapons accepted. This Ash of War grants an armament the quality affinity and the following skill. Storm Stomp, one of the skills that channel the tempests of Stormveil. Stomp hard on the ground to kick up a momentary storm. So I think I might want to use this, given that I have a quality build, so maybe we'll do that before we call it an episode. Determination, a knightly skill. Hold the flat of the armament to your face and pledge your resolve, powering up your next attack. It's like the attack that you used to be able to do with Rickard's Rapier. Storm Wall. Swing the shield to create a wall of storm winds in front of you. Deflecting arrows and other such physical projectiles can also be used in the same way as a regular parry. Yeah, I think we're going to want to equip this Storm Stomp. So, yeah, let's go do that. Oops. So yeah, I know we didn't get a lot done in this episode. And I apologize for that. Because yeah, it's tough to know where to go and what to do. Because you can spend so much time just wandering in circles. Oh! So she's finally set up shop here. Hello.
Good to see you again. Thank you very much. I have you to thank, don't I? For persuading Master Hugh. I can happily announce that he has taught me the noble toil of spirit tuning. I'm as yet unsure of what I might be able to accomplish, but if I might be able to help you all, I'd certainly like to try. And if there's any chance to ease the suffering of my dear men who were grafted, well, I certainly must try. Roderica, the Spirit Tune Apprentice. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
How does apprentice differ from apprentice? Oh, so we can upgrade it? Interesting. Yeah, that's a tough decision. Jellyfish Friend has served us really well. You know what? Let's do it.
Greetings. Are you here for spirit tuning?
No, I'm here for conversation, but you're not especially talkative anymore. Hello.
Well, where have you been hiding? I took you for dead. No matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arms, then.
Okay, I just noticed this friend has the same sort of root type growths. Perhaps they look a little bit different that we see in the Fell Omen. Yeah, it looks like he really needs to see a dermatologist. Okay, Ashes of War. We want to... Yeah, so it's not... I think it's gonna lower our damage. Yeah, it's lowering our damage. It's lowering our damage for now, but once we upgrade our halberd and our dex and strength a little bit more, it will improve the damage. In theory, anyway.
I spoke with the girl. She has a gift for spirit tuning. So I told her everything I know. I'm indebted to a spirit tuner I met long ago. It was all I could do to honor her. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Oh. Oh. I love Hugh. He's so nice. He really is wonderful. Okay. A blacksmith after my own heart. What was the duplication again? You need lost Ashes of War to duplicate them. Okay. Okie dokie, friend. Where am I hearing these whispers from? Oh. Oh, everyone must have been like, what the heck is Aegon doing? Okay, so now I'm wondering, before we call in an episode, I'm wondering Do we only have one of those? I think we only have one. I went the wrong way. Yeah, we do. But okay, before we use it, I want to make sure that in that tutorial area, there's nothing, there's no such device so that we can open the fog. Let's see. So silly me, unlike I was suggesting earlier in the episode, I looked straight at one of these like multiple times and went, oh, that's cute, and then just walked away from it. Why am I hearing people screaming? Is that just the soundscape? Gosh darn it. I'm so easily distracted, aren't I? Yeah, the question is, where do we use this fragrant branch of yore type item? Let's go see how many those merchants have before we make a decision. Okay, they have 3 of them. They're 4,000 runes each, though. So we want to use the one in here or the one in the tutorial area. I'm sure the tutorial area one is a terrible idea, but let's do it. Of course, I go to the wrong place. So again, unlike what I suggested earlier in the episode, it's not that these fog walls unlock once you've progressed to a certain point in the game, it's when you use a stored zone key. What? Not enough. You need more than one? I'm very confused. I don't understand. Okay, let's go see if it works in the one in the hold, the Roundtable Hold. Okay, let's see. There's another one. Okay, I can't attack, so I'm going to assume this is not a mimic. Krepu's Black Key Crossbow. Black Key Bolt. Okay, that's not what I was hoping for. Don't use crossbows, typically. A black crossbow featuring a long stock, used for sniping. It has a very long range. Weapon of Crepus. Oh, Crepus's Black Key Crossbow. Weapon of Crepus, who served the 2 fingers from the shadows of the Round Table as the head confessor. Skill, kick, push. Oh, so this one actually has kick. Well, that might be a reason I might want to use it, but yeah, bolts used in Crepus's Black Key Crossbow, an assassin's tool of exquisite craftsmanship. The intricate spiral tip bores deep, injecting scarlet rot far into the flesh of its target. So they're poison, essentially. That's very interesting. It's interesting also that crepices, so they use S'(S) here, which is not an error. It's a matter of style as to whether you put an additional S at the end when it's a possessive form. Possessive contraction, I should say. But then here, they only use crepus apostrophe. I think crepices. Yeah, I think the S apostrophe S actually works better in terms of indicating to the reader how they're supposed to pronounce it. But anyways, it shouldn't be coming to me for advice on pronunciation because I'm generally not very good at it. I think that's going to do it. Again, you know, I spent a lot of time in this episode rambling about how different it is recording a playthrough for YouTube and how, you know, it makes it difficult sometimes to know what you could or should be doing because you're thinking about having an episode with a beginning, middle, and end, and a climax of some sort and some sort of something interesting that, you know, someone isn't going to finish the video and go, well, why did I just waste my time watching that? And yeah, I hope none of you are feeling that way right now. So thank you all very, very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.